Hey, everyone. What is up? Give me just a second here. I'm running behind this morning. It was a crazy morning. Oh, okay. Okay. Sketchbook. This one. Um, yeah. Hey, everyone. What's up? Josh here. And today I'm going to be working on a new print. Um, Looking at it now, there are some things that, since I worked on it last, I would like to change. So I want to be looking over at the laptop frequently, and then moving back over here to the iPad frequently. But this is like the reference board that I pulled together. Lots and lots of Patrick Jones, some modern digital art, and yeah, I think I'm gonna. There were some really creepy mermaid references that I had pulled up on Pinterest. Let's see. And those were really fun. I also, while I'm thinking about it, need to go ahead and get some music turned on. Let's see. It's not Stream Beats. Oh gosh, Epidemic Sound. EpidemicSound.com. So if you're in the market for some amazing background music that is royalty free on a subscription service, check out EpidemicSound.com. Very cool music. Let's see. Oh no, not liked tracks. Stream list. Here we go. Including some ambient Americana. Oh gosh. Yeah, sorry. It's been a crazy few weeks as the family and I are preparing to sell everything we own and hit the road. Say that in costume graphs. That was a nice one. Ooh, that one too. Okay. Now, let's look for creepy mermaid. Ooh, that was nice. So I'm trying to get some creepy mermaid references going. It's a nice one. That's a nice one. Not really what I'm after. That was creepy. That was nice. Ooh, webbed hands. That's a good call. I'm also looking for hair references, like underwater hair references. And my favorite hair drawing person of modern times is Lois. So Lois von Burl, I think is how she pronounces her last name. So I am going to look up some of her hair references too, because I am incredibly unhappy with the hair that I drew here. So I think I'm going to simplify it. Oh wow, lots and lots of AI ripping her work off. Go figure. Ooh. So she actually did her own mermaid references or studies, which will be fantastic reference. She actually did a lot of mermaid references. And a lot of underwater studies of hair. So I think I'm in the right place whenever I say I would like to study her hair designs. All right, so pulling up lots and lots and lots and lots of references everywhere. I've got my reference board over here ready, and I'll get a lot of these references pulled over to this reference board as I continue working, but not going to worry about that right now. All right, so let's get to it. I've got all of this stuff here. Yeah, here's the initial sketch. Here's where we're at with it. And I think I'm just gonna reduce the opacity on this layer like I did the other one, and we'll start working on yet another new layer. All right, so I'm gonna pull up some of those references. Make this not full screen so that I can see the chat. Boop. All right, so where do I want to start? I think I want to start with the hair since that's such a major compositional element. So I'm going to reimagine this hair. This is on ArtStation, which she has deactivated. All right, so I'm just going to go to lowish.net because, well, I'm one of her Patreon subscribers, and I know for a fact that she keeps a lot of her sketches on her website. So if I look at her portfolio, go to rough, I think, and just scroll. Her most recent work is getting very abstract in a beautiful way, though. Like, she's simplifying a lot. For this reference, though, I'm actually looking for some of her older, more finished, I would say, finished work, or at least slightly polished with flowing hair and locks and stuff and things. Ooh, that's funny. So looking for mermaid references. Oh, here's a whole sheet. Huh. Lots of mermaids. I'm assuming it was during Mermay when she was doing a lot of those. Ooh, this one's trippy. All right. Dark Mermaid, as it is titled. 2022 character sketches. So I've got a reference pulled up over here of some very chunky, lowish hair. And I really like how it's, sorry, moving that over there. I really like how chunky this hair is. Let's see, what do I have selected? So I'm gonna go ahead and like, whoa. I'm gonna go ahead and redefine I think I'm actually going to make the forehead a little bit shorter. So this is sort of the reference that I was pulling from for the face. I love Patrick Jones' work. But yeah, I think I'm going to shorten the forehead and get some more hair. And focus on much bigger chunks of hair. So let's say I want this coming up over the shoulder, going behind the ear. Get some stylistic, let's let's say I do one big chunk over here instead of all of those little ones. That'll be a nice way to frame the face. It'll let me, you know, add a few little pieces as I'd like. I can even do some flyaways. And then back here, again, let's focus on the big shape first. So we'll do the largest mass of hair here, and then the mass keeps getting smaller. Didn't mean to undo. And just to get that flowing effect, let's follow some shapes like that, and maybe do one more big flyaway that, of course, gets smaller as it goes. All right. So if I get rid of that layer, let's actually get rid of that, but let's reduce that opacity. How's that looking? Is that looking good? I think it looks better than all of the absolute craziness that was going on before, but this isn't flowing the way I want it to. Oh, wrong layer. Like, this looks good, but I am not too horribly happy with the rest of it. That's just a mess. Like, I like how I've got the mermaid's tail figured out there, but looking at Loish's tail, I kind of want to steal some of her design with that too, because it's just, you can see her understanding of the stylization of form, and I'm definitely gonna steal that. All right, so let's really fade that back. Let's make this a little bit of a sketch, a lighter sketch, which that's another thing that I'd like to chat about really quick. Learning to work in layers like this is probably one of the most convenient things like when I'm working in layers, I feel a lot more confident in making minor changes because I know it's not set in stone. With another layer, I can always come in and clean things up however I feel like. All right, so the big thing that was bothering me on this side was that the hair was flowing down. So I think I'm gonna just have it flow up. And I'm trying to think of a good silhouette for the shape here. That looks better. All right, so we've got like this spiral going up and away from the viewer. And I'm confident that I could get a good silhouette out of that. It gives this nice S curve into a spiral in that direction. And now I can not mirror it, but consider it with the tail design. So yeah, all right. But let's say I want the tail to come back over itself. Ah, too big. And if you think this looks dark, that's because it's supposed to. So, uh, yeah, the idea is drowned in silence. Let's make this more long and serpentine. So if I'm trying to figure that out, I want to do it on a separate layer. Definitely do it on a separate layer. Because I'm actually liking the style of this sketch, how it's coming together. And let's see. Let's make it really big. Kind of light eraser and lightly erase a bunch of this. And lightly erase some of this. Woo! Alright. So we've got a little bit of a clean slate. When I get the big tilt sketch pencil out, there we go. This will be very light. So I'm really using Loish's work here as sort of a master study. So I'm trying to think of like how this tail would flow backwards in space. And just have really interesting shapes. And create a strong silhouette. So I think that's a little too much here. Let's make it come up here. Yeah, it's not working either. Right. So we've got a lot going on over here. What about, like, maybe I should. We've got this silhouette right here, this silhouette right here. What if I do try to keep it mostly on this side? It's too busy over here. So thinking about the overall composition. We've got a body, a body. We've got a big flowy tail. It's a big flowy hair. Let's actually adjust that big flowy hair a little. Is this it? No, this is it. All right. All right. What if we did the tail? Yeah, buddy. I don't know if we have any snacks. All right, I kind of like this idea. Like, what if the tail is a supporting background element, goes behind her, goes behind him, but frames his head, goes out of frame. This would lead the eye around the composition a little bit more. Yes, buddy. I'm not making popcorn right now. Please don't. Because I asked you not to. All right, so I do like how this composition leads the eye around the canvas, but I don't think it's the best option. I think I need to focus on keeping the tail on this side of the composition, which means I need to move the hair. So the hair is taking up too much of this real estate. All right. Now that I think works better. So that's what I'm going to do. It's a little bit of a different approach. And by a little bit of a different approach, I mean it's sort of the opposite of what I had originally planned. But let's say that the hair comes around and mostly frames this side of the painting instead. That gives me room to do fun things with the tail over here. Let's see. Anything interesting that I could borrow from over here? Not particularly. What about some of Loish's other mermaid stuff? Well, that's an idea. So right, we do 1, 2, 3. So we would keep it simple. I'm really interested also in the dark mermaid references. Let's see what I can find. Ooh, all right. So let's say this is going back in space. What would happen if we had like really something more like that? Then we get hey, what's up, man? Not much. Struggling through this design because I went into it a little overconfident. So I've completely redone half of what I set out to do. Yeah, things have been wild. Things have been very wild. On my end, how have you been? Sorry to hear that, I think. Unless it's work you enjoy, in which case, congratulations. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. No, my I can relate a little. So my family and I have recently discovered that it's way easier to downsize than it is to upsize, especially with a very volatile economy. Um, so we have been selling off everything we own so that we can hit the road in a camper. Well, an RV. Well, no, a camper. Yeah, we're becoming homeless nomads on purpose, and it's surprisingly profitable. That's very creepy. Very creepy. Ooh, all right. There's the flow I was looking for. I've always sort of been a nomad, but I've been settled in this area for a very, very, very long time, and yeah, I'm tired of having roots. I want to travel and explore. So that's what I'm gonna do with the kiddos. Um, yeah, very interesting question. So I do have a Starlink RV uh, satellite dish, but I'm thinking it might actually be better and cheaper to sell that. More on that in just a second. But I think it's going to be cheaper to sell the Starlink and get a 5G unlimited hotspot because that can actually be used while we're moving, not just when we're stationary. The Starlink RV, we have to find a place with a clear view of the southern sky and then set it up, and then we have Wi-Fi. The latency is pretty good on that, though. It does not work where we currently live, like our residence, because we don't have a clear view of the sky. We're like down in a deep valley. So Wi-Fi, we have solutions available to us. Just not sure which one's going to work best for our family yet, but that'll be something we figure out pretty soon. Um, Other amenities. So I own property right now where we have a hookup for water, electric, and septic. So Starlink is $150 a month plus the $700 satellite that I've already purchased. Um, but I think the 5G hotspot might be less expensive per month, and the equipment is included with the contract. Well, not the contract, but the monthly bill. It's a contractless 5G service that we found, so it's a month to month, and you're just responsible for returning the modem if you cancel your subscription. Um, so 5G is looking like the more promising option for us. That's not 100% set in stone though, so I'm not. Yeah, the Starlink was very expensive, but we're in a really rural area and we thought we'd give it a shot, and that was the only way we could. It wasn't worth it for us at the time, but I did keep the satellite, so we still have it. It's just not an active subscription right now. Uh, so that's internet. In terms of other amenities, I do, like I said, I have property that we can live on right now with all of the necessary stuff. In terms of when we start actually mobilizing, though, we will mostly live in RV parks, and if we can find one nearby the places we want to like inhabit, national parks. So U.S. national parks, if you volunteer to maintain the park while you stay there, you can actually stay for free. That was a hack that I just learned about. So we could get free hookups and free camping across the entire United States, assuming, like political conversation aside, assuming that certain individuals with certain nefarious 2025 plans don't decide to gut our national parks uh, and sell them off for profit. Uh, we would be able to stay in national parks permanently as we move across the U.S. All right, so how does that work with the kiddos, schooling and stuff? So our plan is to downsize and live in the RV locally for the next school year. So they will still attend public schools for the next school year. But living in the RV or camper during the next school year is going to basically give us a trial run of what it's going to be like living in such a small space together. Best case scenario is we adjust rapidly and our kids learn to live with less while we also save a dramatic amount of money on heating, cooling, and homeownership for the next year. So that's best case scenario, is that they adjust and we save money and get ready to hit the road. Worst case scenario is we don't adjust as well as we hope to, but we still save a significant amount of money over the next 10 months, give or take. And we're able to rethink our housing situation after that 10 months is over. Now, I'm a minimalist already. Like, literally all of my clothing fits in one drawer. I love it. Most of the stuff in our home is my family's stuff, so they're gonna have a much harder adjustment than I would. Yeah, yeah. Like, we have the plan. Now, in terms of after this school year, what we'll probably end up doing is traveling around the U.S. until we find a place where we can settle down over the summer. It's looking like we want to travel north. So Vermont is looking very appealing right now. So if we travel north, we settle before the next school year starts. Yeah. But we want to travel north, probably Vermont, settle down before the next school year starts, and then get them enrolled in public schools in a new location, stay there for a school year, and maybe move again or not. But homeschooling is also something we've discussed. Now, you asked earlier about tattooing. Yes, I can guest spot as a tattoo artist anywhere in the country, as long as I can find a studio that will have me for a week, a month, however long. So that's another way that we're going to be earning income. Now, my hope, my dream, is to make a transition to full-time illustrator between now and the next school year. So I am slowly stepping back my tattooing workload, and that would be honestly ideal, is to make the transition to full-time illustrator between now and then. Yeah. So I actually have not been getting. I got one, two. I've gotten 3 commissions so far since I decided to start like aggressively pursuing this. Um, it's not enough to sustain my family yet. So what I'm trying to do, sort of a 3-prong approach here. One, I'm not giving up tattooing. Like I have too much fun tattooing, and being able to travel and learn from other artists around the country is actually a great opportunity for me. Um, so tattooing is still in the mix, but I'm building up my personal website as a membership platform similar to Patreon. So if I could get some sort of recurring revenue from that, even if it's a small amount, it will help. But through that platform, I'm basically building it up, copying the most successful illustrators that I can find out there. So, like I have a web shop where I'm doing print sales, which is actually going not bad. So I am selling prints, which is really awesome. So membership, prints, tattooing. Those are where I'm building as much of an insurance policy as possible. And then after I've got a better illustration portfolio, I will start approaching more and more freelance job boards to try and get more illustration jobs. So, yeah, yeah. And then my wife, she's a nurse, so she can work anywhere too. It's not a horrible risk for us. So not feeling this tail. I'll have to figure the tail out again, because I can't seem to figure the tail out. If things aren't working, move somewhere else. Oh gosh. Sorry. All right, there's usually 2 sneezes when there's one. Not that time. So we got some Patrick Jones. Where else could I work? Let's work on. So we get. Building off of the wrong spot there. There we go. So we'll say we have been met with a little bit of resistance to this idea. But it's not something that we came to lightly in terms of like the decision to do it. It was a decision that we personally think is best for our family, because I was actually kind of crushed with some medical bills. Right after we got approved for a very hefty mortgage. So the bank says we can afford a very expensive home. And the bank to this day maintains that we can afford this very expensive home. But we really can't. Like, even though like, no matter how we look at the budget with our medical bills right now, we can't afford to upsize. We actually need to downsize. And it's actually what's best for our family. So we're making the best of a bad situation. And that's just what we're gonna do. um, but yeah, I'm actually happy with some of the progress I've made on this today. I think that's where I'm gonna call it for now. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes from here. I've got some really awesome references that are gonna make a huge difference in how I approach the rest of this design. So stay tuned for that. I will continue trying to figure out the best way to execute this vision in my head. And until next time, take it easy, everybody. Keep drawing, painting, writing, singing, or dancing your hearts out. Make sure you visit joshj.blog if you'd like to support me and the family on our crazy adventures. Sign up for a membership, buy some prints, do all of those fun things. And I appreciate you more than you know. So take it easy, everybody. I will talk at you next week. And yeah, have a great one.